and thank you for the warm welcome, and thank you for inviting me to this conference. Yes, we were the first venue, and I think the only one in Germany to take over this fantastic exhibition project from Switzerland and from Zurich. And I have to say, we are, first of all, I must make a compliment to Angeline, to Christian, because this type of exhibition is not at all normal. So it was a great work that you did in trying to transform a very important issue of society, of discussion, of actual discussion into another visual audience or into another visual order. And well, we took over this project and we thought it's quite ambitious, so what could we add also to this very ambitious, already established educational program? And then we thought, okay, we could think about a kind of debate. But before, just a few numbers. So we made the typical program, public tours, and you can see some numbers. We were very successful with our guided tours for schools, for children. So this was the highest amount of participants. We also established some workshops, and as you can see, the workshops were not very successful. So this was also a result for us that, apparently the Hamburg audience is not very interested in workshops. These were workshops with designers on the plastic, on different aspects of plastic. So, and we were showing films, and then we had the debates. So in order to be able to realize this debate, we of course needed another sponsor, because this is also quite an effort also to be able to invite many people. And we were very happy to find a new sponsor we haven't been working with before. So this was the Michael Otto Stiftung. So it's a Hamburg-based foundation, and it's a foundation which sees itself as a catalyst within society for matters of environmental protection and nature conservation. And their mission is also to raise awareness for urgent issues in nature conservation. And they are also looking for new paths, and so for them it was a perfect matching, because we were looking for new partners. And for them, we were a very interesting institution, especially with this very particular project tackling on the subject also of water. So what happened was that we could put together our knowledge, our network, and we were able to establish a series of 7 debates. And these 7 debates were tackling different aspects around the subject of plastic. So it was about the oceans as a dumping ground, the waste, what does waste in a museum, so material questions, the fascination of plastics, the question of responsibility of the designers, design and sustainability, consumption and sustainability, then the big issue of waste, reuse, recycle and reduce. And the final discussion was on sustainability, a utopia. So we have to say that we were a little bit disappointed, because we had of course expected quite a bigger number of participants, but I will come back to this issue later. As you can see, the debate with the biggest amounts of visitors was the question about the responsibility of the designer, and also the last debate about the utopian aspect of sustainability had a lot of visitors. I just want to focus on 2 different debates, because for us as a design museum, of course, it was very interesting to discuss the notion and the role of the designer, and also the fact whether sustainability should be a part of the education at universities or at art schools, and we could win different designers like Rianne Macking she's also teaching in Eindhoven, and Herman Verkerk. He's also a designer and architect and also teaching in the Netherlands, in Eindhoven and The Hague. Then we had a colleague from Zurich, Eva Wandeler, and then we had Ines Goebel, who is a cradle-to-cradle designer and project manager of DPEA, which is a foundation initiated by Mr. Braungart, whom you might know, who was one of the so-called founders of the cradle-to-cradle principle. And then we had Jesko Feser. Jesko Feser is an architect, and he is running the studio for experimental design also at the HAFBK, so the Arts and Design School in Hamburg, and myself, who was moderating the whole debate. Yes, and there were... So this was the debate which has the biggest resonance in terms of audience, because, of course, all the designers could bring in their networks, and it was a discussion, a very lively discussion, and yeah, there was the question about sustainability in education, and does it play a role in the training of the designers, and what is impossible is to bring knowledge to the designers. And so then there were discussed different issues like planned obsolescence, so as part of the problem, also of the waste problem. And then, yeah, students should be encouraged to develop positive alternatives. And then one other aspect was that also the concept of reuse is important. So, and then the last debate was on the subject of sustainability. Is it a utopia? And there we also had different participants. I don't know whether he's known here in Switzerland. Harald Welser is quite well known in Germany because he's the director of a foundation of sustainability called Futur 2, and he's also teaching transformation design. Then we had Bernd Draser. He's also teaching eco-design in Cologne and also at the university in Bochum. Jörg Stellmann, he's co-founder of the United Battle Group, and he's also teaching architecture in Berlin at the TU Technical University. And Eckhard Foltin, he's from Bayer, this big chemical brand in Germany, Bayer in Leverkusen, and he is leading a creative center which is dealing with future-orientated research. And the whole debate was moderated by Markus Brauch, who is an investigative journalist, and he's working at the German journal Der Spiegel. So, this was also a very lively debate, and so in this other debate, the number 4 debate, there were most designers in the audience, and the last debate, it was a very mixed audience, and it was really a good debate also about the notion of sustainability. There was, which I found very interesting, a big critique about the notion. It's kind of fashionable terminus, and yeah, it has become out of fashion, and then one aspect was that we need more enthusiasm and less austerity in order to achieve progress. We need more fun. And then also we were talking about new behaviors, so that, yeah, that there is a failure of the elite. So where does change come from? It does not come from the elite who tells the people you have to do this and this, but it comes from the people itself who try to use their room for maneuver. So this was a very, yeah, I had the feeling at that point, now we should go on with further debates, but unfortunately it was the last one. And as a result for us, we have to say, regarding this proper plastic garbage debate, as I mentioned at the beginning, we did not really see it as a success at that time, but now looking back after 2 years, we really have to say, taking over this exhibition with this subject and creating this kind of, or opening up the museum as a space for debates was a very crucial turning point also for us as a museum, as an institution, because since then we really, for us it was very interesting to see that we were an interesting multiplier platform for other institutions dealing more or that are focused more on the environmental questions. And for them it was very interesting that we as a museum institution, we could reach again another public. So that's something which encouraged us now to tackle more and more and other critical problems within the whole design debate. And yeah, so it was for us very important to take over this exhibition. And we didn't make a further debate, although we created a new format. MKG, Museum of Arts and Crafts, is debating, and I hope in the future we will come up with some more debates. So thank you.